I just want to say something before this video starts. If ever you have an opportunity in your lifetime to do something, and if it's something unexpected of your character, or people don't know that you have this interest, or may think it's something silly, but you are really committed to do it, then you need to do it for yourself. Don't listen to any criticism. Don't let people stifle your creativity. Don't let anybody take away from anything that could be the experience of a lifetime, or take away from you anything. Always do what you want to do, follow your heart, and do the things that make you happy. This is my hat. It's a Resistol. It's a high quality straw hat. I don't wear it. I suppose if I went to a rodeo, I would. I might wear it if it's really hot and sunny. If I'm going somewhere, I might wear it then. Hi y'all. Thanks for coming to my channel. Well, I'm just a floating head today. It's dark out here right now, and it's really cold. I have a hoodie on, so I look like a floating head. But yes, I actually have a body, but it was really cold today, and we had like a mild February. We didn't have hardly any cold weather really in February. It's like in the 70s, 80s, even a few days in the 90s. And in January, we did have a cold January somewhat. We had a week that was really pretty cold. And it's into March, it's getting a little warmer. But today, it was really cold. It was like 40 degrees on the temperature on my car before I made this video. So down south, it's been, it's always a lot warmer down south because I'm in the upper part of Texas. But I'm going to make a video, my third video about Beyonce. I'm just going to make this video because of one of the comments that I got saying that Beyonce was country. And I think I had talked about it in the other video that, the second video I just did about her saying she ain't country. She was raised in Texas, and a lot of people confuse that with, if you're from Texas, you must be country. And no, we're not all country. I was born in a small town, and I was raised in a kind of like a middle-sized city that has exponentially, grown. We've gotten so much growth, and with people wanting to come to Texas, it's just, the land has doubled and tripled in price. It's really gone up a lot. And a lot of people are coming to Texas. It's a lot more laid back and a little bit less. The life isn't as hurry, 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 I think, in a lot of places that these people are coming from. And Beyonce was born in Houston, which is a huge city. It's, got a huge population. And there was a comment saying that she had been, her grandparents, she spent time with her grandparents, and that she liked to sing country when she was like 2 or 3 years old. Well, yeah, I did see that. When I research when I start to do video, I do as much research as I can, sometimes hours or days, or I try to collect as much information as I can. I think I might have looked at like 20 something different types of articles or reports to talk about, because I didn't really know a whole lot about her. I knew she was from Texas. I knew she was like a child singer, and then she progressed, and by the time she was like in her early 20s, she was like, worldwide known. So she was well known, and she was pretty much cemented into the R&B business, or R&B community, singing in that area of music. And she's been in that genre all of her life until just now. She just made this complete 180. And to me, I consider it to be like a opportunistic thing that she did with her, just her ability to conquer things. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm not saying this in a negative way, because I'm just saying she has the power to do that, and good for her. If you're that successful and you can do things like that, to me, I don't think that's a negative. To me, that's a positive. But, yeah, I did read that article saying she had spent time with her grandparents in Alabama. I actually lived in Alabama as a baby for just a few months. I also lived in Louisiana for about a year, maybe a year and a half. My sisters were born there, and I was born in Texas. We came back to Texas, and I've grown up in Texas all my life after that. And the article said that she liked country music at around age 2 and 3. And so, it's really hard to say that a child likes something when they're that young and that it carries on for the rest of their life. But I do believe that, things can be imprinted on young people. And maybe that, she's very musical. She's clearly very musical. And maybe that has always stuck with her. I mean, I'm not going to argue about that because I was raised around country music from probably birth till I think like in the 60s and 70s. Hearing the Beatles and then hearing all the classic rock, and I fell in love with classic rock. I love classic rock. And then the 80s came about, and I was a teenager in the early 80s going to high school, and I loved 80s music, and I still do. I love rock music, but country probably is more my heart and soul. And even actually in high school, I was kind of more like a closet country, I guess, kind of. I just was around a lot more rock and roll type teenage people, and I started to just listen mainly to rock and roll, even though I loved Dolly Parton. I loved country music, and it still stuck with me in the background, kind of. And then after a while, probably after I graduated, a few years after that, I started to go back to country more. And now, I mean, I still listen to rock and I still listen to country. I actually like opera. I like a lot of different styles of music. But, the country stuck with me. And I think because she came from Texas, because Beyonce came from Texas, people automatically just assume, oh, you're country, and we all ride horses and everything. We don't, I have to say most people in Texas have never ridden a horse. Probably never even touched a horse or been 10 feet from a horse. But in the area I grew up in, it was really country. There was horses and cows everywhere. I learned to ride really young. Actually, at age 7, I really learned to ride. But before that, I have pictures of myself when I was like a toddler sitting on the back of horses. And my mom did we moved to a city after my parents were split up, and she raised us as a single parent, and it was expensive. I mean, it's expensive to be country. It is. The boots and the hats and if you've ever been to a country store and look at the prices of clothing, it's expensive. And then having land or being able to pay for feed for horses or cows or, farm animals, it's expensive. You've got to have a budget, that allows you to do that. So a lot of people aren't really country, even though they want to be, because I've met a lot of people that, as soon as I get the money, I want to buy land and a house, and that's my goal, is to buy land in the country. I've lived out in the country a few times, but I'd like to buy like a plot of land to retire on, because I'm nearing retirement, and I'm hoping in a few years I can get this done. And I've wanted to buy a horse since I was 7 years old. I mean, the first time I rode horses that I was old enough to understand, I fell in love with them. And that has never gone away. And like Beyonce, I don't know how much, I didn't read anything in any of the biographical type of information that I looked up on her. I didn't see any stories, that she's ever hunted or fished, or she rides horses, or she owns land, or she's, this or that. But I did see the little article. It was just a mention. It's like 1 or 2 sentences out of an article. And to me, that wasn't so much that gave me the idea that she's country. It made me, I just believe that, she likes music, and you can play all kinds of music for little kids. And, as they get older, they pick what they like. People, they hear what they like, and they'll stick to what they like. Everybody picks their own music. That is one thing that is super personalized, is music. Some people don't like certain types of music, and they will not. I worked at a place a few years ago that a lot of people were playing really loud, foul, vulgar rap. And then some of us wanted to play country. And we played country. We were going to take turns. And the guy put on like heavy earmuffs because he couldn't stand the country music. It was hilarious. And he works all day with these like super, I mean, you can't hear anything with these earmuffs. They're these dead zone type of earmuffs for the kind of machinery that we'd work with. I was in an agriculture job. And it was, I just thought it was hilarious. But if Beyonce decides to make another record, if she really wants to go into this, like, that, I mean, good for her. I just can't say enough about it. If whatever her desire is, that she should do it, you know. But I was making a comparison about people who really go into country music, that, like Mickey Guyton, she's a black country artist. And she's been singing country for a long time. She's been nominated for a Grammy. She's got a true country sound, and she sings country music. And she's really country. And like Beyonce and Jay-Z, I don't see them moving out to the farm and going out every day and feeding the chickens and the hogs and saddling up the horses. And, you know, I don't see her doing that. You know, I don't see her changing the whole scope of the life that she's built, because, you know, she did live in New York for a period of time, and then she moved to Los Angeles, and I don't think she's going to trade that lifestyle in. I think even if she makes a second record, I think it's going to be like a novelty thing that she's done, because she has the power and she has people behind her that will support her no matter what. And to me, that's fine. That's okay. But I just don't like that people call her country, because she ain't country. And it would have to involve her changing an entire lifestyle. And, you know, if people want to do that, because a lot of people have that in them. There's a movie called, not a movie, it was a TV series called Green Acres. And it was about a city couple, like high-class city couple, that they lived in like New York or Chicago or somewhere, I can't really remember. And the guy always wanted to move out to a farm and be a farmer. And then that was the whole premise of the show, that he finally got to move out into the country. And it had the female lead was Zsa Gabor. And she's very high class, very, you know, very city. But his dream was always to move out into the country and run a farm. But he was still a businessman, and he did that in the daytime. Then he came home to his farm, because that was in his heart. You know, that's always what he wanted to do. And kind of reminds me also of a thing that in high school we had, like, we had the rockers, the preppies, then we actually called them the shit kickers. It was like a group, you know, you picked what group you were in. I was kind of more rock, but I still was friends with people in the country community. I didn't really like to call them the poop kickers, but and that's actually another term for boots. Shit kickers. That's another term for boots. But this girl was in the country community, and they had a dirt parking lot. We had the paved parking lot, but all the trucks and all the country people parked across the street in an unpaved dirt parking lot. So it's kind of, and it just turned out that way. They weren't forced to do it. They just ended up overtaking this empty lot across the street from the high school, and they just took over, and that was their parking lot. And, you know, we call it the country parking lot. Are you in the city or the country? And, you know, if people don't know where your car is, are you in the city or the country? You know, you just say it like that, and they know what parking lot you were in. And this girl was very country. She wore boots every day, jeans, boots, you know, country shirts, country clothes all the time. Went to rodeos, rode horses, and she'd wear a hat every once in a while. Not at school, but, you know, she was complete country girl. And then all of a sudden, she slowly started changing into a rocker. And it just happened real slow. Like, one day she came to school with a bunch of, like, Madonna bracelets or something. And then she kind of started styling her hair a little different. And then slowly, this transformation took a few months. And then slowly she just quit wearing country clothes and she was all rock and roll. And there was a little thing that was said about her, like, someday, her first name was Leanne. Someday, it was in a paper they printed at the end of the year about the seniors, and one day it said, well, we'll probably see Leanne someday on the cover of Changing Times, which used to be a magazine. I don't know if it's still around, but it was just a funny little thing that they did, because she just slowly morphed from total country girl into rock and roll. And I just don't see that Beyonce is completely changing her genre and her whole lifestyle. I think it's just something that she's able to do, and she's got the opportunity to do it, which I have no problem with it. No, I just want to see what she does, and maybe if she does put out a second album, maybe it'll be a little bit more country influenced. I don't know. I mean, okay, thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I really like the engagement when y'all give me comments or something like that. I like to answer back, and as best I can, that I try to get the information, and I really appreciate that if you're sticking out and you're watching my videos all the way to the end. Thank you, and I'm slowly kind of growing my channel a little bit. I think I'm up to 408 subscribers up to today. And I usually don't say like, comment, subscribe. I think I have a little thing about that at the end of the outro to my video. But I really appreciate all the effort that people put into, if you're watching my videos or if you're checking back on my channel. It really does. It means everything to me. It does. And I'm slowly growing, trying to push it to 1,000 just to get monetized. And I have some personal issues. I think I've talked about it. The divorce that I'm going through, that I'm trying to finalize that. And once I'm able to get a little bit more stable in some of my areas, my personal areas, and I have other plans for this channel to grow and to do other things. But your engagement, everything that you do, thank you so much. And if you stuck it out this far, please subscribe. Think about it. You don't have to, or come back. Maybe I'll have a video you like or something. Thank you so much.